On this podcast episode, we have one of my favorite people in the world. This woman has collaborated with me on several projects. She is also the subject of one of the episodes of The Big Let Go, Decluttering Around the World docu-series, and she has become a very good friend of mine. I'd love to introduce you all to Sophia Lorimer. Sophia is a sustainable stylist and the founder of Fine Tune Wardrobe. It's a multi-award winning sustainable styling business. And Sophia champions an approach that emphasizes using what we already own, crafting wardrobes that are stylish, empowering, and mindful of the planet. So I want to welcome Sophia to the Big Let Go today.
Go.
Sophia, you started Fine Tune Wardrobe because of your interest in sustainable styling and upcycling. Can you share with everybody what inspired you to start this? I love your story, but I feel like so many people need to hear it. Because I get cold chills every time you tell me.
So I haven't always been into sustainability, and I don't think anyone is born sustainable. We all go through something that makes us have that pivotal moment. And for me, it was after having my daughter. Um, Everything changed for me. But prior to my daughter, I was addicted to buying all the things. Fast fashion was like my thing, and I just loved the dopamine hit that it gave me. However, it didn't serve me in the way that it needed to. Like the clothes I was still on the hamster wheel of following trends and following other people's styles, and rather than being true and authentic to myself. So after I had my daughter and going through, quite a really tough time through depression and all of that, I was sort of thrown in the deep end, really, because I was more thinking about her and what she was wearing and like the fabrics that were going on her little delicate skin at that time. I wanted to like gorgeous organic cottons and all of this, and where my wardrobe was just full to the brim of plastic. And I think that's where the seed was sown for me in those elements, because I then started looking at more of fabrics and how things were made and all of that. And that was my little window in sustainability. And really looking at who was making my clothes, what were they made out of, and all of that. So that's where it all stemmed from, really. And then once you see all of that, you can't unsee it.
I love that. And you told me once, when you were a kid, you grew up in a house with a bunch of other siblings, and you had to make your own space. So that's really where your journey started. Is
Yeah, we went
even if you
right back
paused
there.
along the way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm from a huge family. There's 10 of us, and growing up, it wasn't. Space was very limited, shall we say?
Hmm.
And I sort of got this under the stairs cupboard and made it my own. I transformed it into my own little haven of as a place. So I gutted it all. It was like an understairs cupboard. It had like a Hoover in and all the things that you would have in an understairs cupboard. And I gutted it all, painted it with some paint that I found in there, put up posters, had a little rail and all lots of bits and bobs, and all my things were in that room. It was like my own personal little walk-in wardrobe, my sanctuary. And for me, it just brought me so much joy. It made me feel so happy every time I was in that space. And I guess that's where the first bit of like, oh, when you have somewhere that is truly yours and it's organized, and it could just really amplify how you feel about, your surroundings, how important that is, especially in a chaotic household like I was growing up in.
See, I love those two stories specifically because it shows from the pivotal moment when you were young, when you made a shift to create space for yourself. Then, when you were older and you started a family of your own, another pivotal moment where you decided that you had to care for someone else. And in
Mm.
making decisions for someone who's not making their own decisions yet, you started to look at things deeper. And you work with people individually in their homes, going through their wardrobe and
Hmm.
listening to their stories about why they keep certain things. Um, do you hear these pivotal moments for people all the time or frequently of why they're keeping things and why they've shifted their behavior in a certain way?
Yeah, and most of the time it's memories. I know that you've spoken about this a lot, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
memories or holding on to the past in some kind of way, whether that is clothes that no longer fit them or things that hold memories in terms of you know, hand me down, like generational kind of things. There's so many elements that come into that. And normally it is because it's the letting go part. It's like if you let go of it, you're going to be letting go of the memory and you're going to be letting go of whatever. But for me, how I help my clients is that you're not letting go of the memory, you're letting go of the item, you know? And physical clutter is just as bad as mental clutter. You know, having all that stuff around and it taking up your energy every day sifting through it is something that we can all definitely relate to. I certainly can in the past. So I really help my clients to really get clear as to what it is that they want out of their wardrobes. What is it that they want moving forward out of their wardrobes as well? Because and not live so much in the past because we can do that a lot, especially as women.
And I love what you just said because everybody is looking for something, right? And it's not just
Mm.
I want to be stylish. It's the feeling they want to
Mm-hmm.
get from it. It's the power they want to exude. It's
Mm-hmm.
being creative, right?
Yes.
So walk me through how you work with people. Do you start online, just having a conversation, getting to know them? How does this all happen for you?
Yeah, so I've got various packages and they all offer different kind of things, but the backbone to it all is really getting to know my client, getting to know the woman, getting to know really who she is. And sometimes I always get feedback from people going, I've never even asked myself that question. I didn't, it's all of those things. I initially I send you a questionnaire to fill out your details and to fill out a selection of questions. And one of the questions is, what's your favorite part of your body? And so many women cannot answer this question.
I
What's
bet
your
they can answer what they don't like, right?
Exactly, exactly. And that's the thing. So I think that for me, being really intentional and knowing the things that you love about yourself to then accentuate them when we get to the clothing part is really important. And I always say that the clothes are the cherry on the top when I work with my clients. It's about getting you to know who you are, know what you love and what how you want to show up is really, really important. So we do all of that. And then I come up with a style mood board for you because, again, another thing that gets people into the spending and the hamster wheel of buying, it is because they don't know what it is that they want to be wearing. They
And
don't
all they
have.
go off of is the mannequins, right? That's what a lot of people buy off of, the
Yeah,
mannequins or social
absolutely.
media. Yeah.
Absolutely. It looks really good on the influencer, so I'll just buy the whole thing. It's not your style. It's not really, doesn't really work on your body shape or your lifestyle. These are really, really key things. So for me, really underpinning the whole process with this document that really shows you not just lovely styles, but also, and most importantly, fabric, colors, all of those things that are essentially the essence of you. So we I do this for you, and then that becomes, as I said, the underpinning of the whole process. And so when I come to your house or when I do these sessions online, which I do quite frequently all over the world, is that then at that point we know exactly where we want your style to be and where we want it to go. So if I go into your wardrobe and you say to me, but oh, Sophia, I really love that item and all of this, then I'll be like, Monica, where is it fitting into this person that you're saying to me that you want to be? So it's having that real clear vision for yourself is really important. And then when I come to your house, we go through everything you own. and I will come up with different ways that you can wear your clothes. And virtually as well, this is exactly how I do it. So I'll make up outfits using the clothes that you've already owned and getting you to think about your clothes differently. No more saving things for best. I'm sorry, if you want that kind of treatment, you're going to have to go to another stylist. But getting you to really wear things that make you feel great, because why should you just feel great when you're going to a party that you hardly ever go to now? Or do you know what I mean? So being really, really true to, if you love something in your wardrobe, how can we bring it into your everyday? How can we make it more you and make sure that you are wearing all of your wardrobe and not just wearing 20%, which is really common.
And most people are just wearing their clothes. They're not styling it. And the styling is really where your expertise thrives because
Absolutely.
do you ever go into people's closets and you see mostly repeated items that they really need to add more into their wardrobe for to be style, or do you find that people have individual pieces that they simply are not styling the right way, and if they just bring these things together that they never
Yeah.
thought of, it could be nice? What do you see
It's
more of?
it's a bit of both, definitely a bit of both. And in terms of just not knowing how to put things together is such a common thread, especially for my clients that have gone through, whether it's menopause, a different branding, like, you're coming across um, business owners that are just wanting to have a new vision for their brand, personal brand. You've got divorce, menopause, women after they had a baby, your identity shifts and your wardrobe's allowed to shift with you. And with that, people get lost in, I don't know how to put things together to fit this person that I now am or whatever. And the missing links are usually, not all the time, but it's like the glue that pins everything together, which are like your good old basics. The foundation to a wardrobe is all of those not so fancy things that, some people might call them, some wardrobes, they've got all the sparkles, all the shiny, lovely, wow there items, but they've got nothing to underpin it with those basics that build an outfit. So definitely that. And what I do for my clients is I help you identify what those gaps are, and then I help you fill those sustainably. And anything that you have got in your wardrobe that is I call it the dead wood or the sad pile. The sad pile is the things that you have in your wardrobe that don't fit you, and yet you're clinging on to them for dear life
I
because
love when you talk about the sad pile. I love it.
and because we've all been there, right? You've got these clothes in your wardrobe, they don't serve you, they make you feel absolutely awful, yet you're clinging on to them like your life depended on it. But if you let go of them and dress the woman that you are today gorgeously and kindly as well, it would be a game changer. So I help you let go of those things and things that are just not for you anymore, not fit in your lifestyle, not fit into the person that you wanting to be. I help you either sell those on or donate them to women's shelters or the homeless. So it's a whole circular of goodness, I like to call it, because it's you, I'm helping you help other people in the process.
I love that there's a full cycle to your work, and it
Mm,
starts with the person and then extends to community and then world. I really love that you
absolutely.
think that big. Um,
And
no,
I
you
think that
mentioned.
it's something,
Sorry.
sorry, I was just going to say that, and it's something that we could all do really easily, because it's just like, especially around, time of the year, it's winter in many places around the world. So are there people struggling at the moment? 100% they are. So what have I got in my wardrobe that can help somebody else?
And
It's looking.
not just the pieces with holes in it that are all worn, like the nice
No,
pieces you truly just don't
absolutely.
need.
Absolutely, absolutely. You've got five pairs of gloves, but you've only got two hands, that kind of stuff. send them off to homeless shelters in your area, that kind of thing. Just getting you to think about your community and the bigger picture is really, really key to what everything I do.
And I love how you were mentioning identity earlier, and especially the big changes that come in people's lives that does affect their appearance, their self care, the way they put themselves together. Things like menopause and divorce, and I mean, you're essentially helping people declutter their closets while you are styling them.
Mm.
And I've noticed in my work decluttering, especially when it comes to clothes, especially when it comes to women, especially when it comes to women who are going through huge life changes, that the confidence can be absolutely shot or forgotten. And it's not just the one event that's happening, it's a chipping away at identity and self-confidence over time. And then the outcome becomes clinging to those things that you believed about yourself in the past or that you might be one day. And it a lot of people can be really stuck at that point. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It is a whole total identity shift, and then it's really hard to grasp. So, who am I? My wardrobe doesn't reflect who I am now. How do I go on from that? So having me come into your wardrobe and coming up with new ways to represent the woman that you are today is really, really, really important. And it's something that not a lot of people can do on their own, because I know I've said this to you so many times, but I really honestly believe what I do is so much more than just a stylist, because we really go through mindset, how you speak about yourself, what you say to yourself when no one's watching. All of those things really, really matter. And they are really key to a real transformation, especially in those um, transformational periods of our lives, those changing chapters. I like to call them, it's like a bit of a derailing, you're on this path and you're going around quite happily, and then menopause hits in a big way. Um, so it's it's finding those tools and those strategies to really keep you aligned so you can have your clothes as a tool for confidence.
So what do you do now? I know you're dying to get your hands on me because we're supposed to work together in my on my wardrobe, and I've
That
got some good
sounded
pieces
really
in there.
bad.
I know. But people like me, so it's like I think that I can put together a really nice outfit and style myself, but with ADHD, I find myself not preparing very well. And
Mm,
so I have this fantastical idea in my head, and then when it gets closer to the event, or even when we were shooting the Big Let Go declutter show, I will last minute change up or throw something on and not look put together anymore, even though I had this idea in my head. So what do you do for people like me who, if they could sort themselves out a little better, that they probably would dress nice, but they're
mm.
just not?
Yeah. No, and I had a connection call earlier on today, and I was speaking about just this. And I was saying that I don't work the same way or follow the same kind of remit, as it were, with I like to call them neurospicy clients, because your requirements and your needs are different. Like for me, for if I said to you that, oh, we're going to do this, this, and this, it might not work for you. So and equally, I've worked with clients before that have got ADHD, and it's like we've planned outfits, like a little bit of a capsule wardrobe. But then in the morning, they're like, no, I don't really feel like wearing that. So it's coming up with different tools and different techniques to be like, okay, if you don't feel like wearing that, maybe swap out one thing. Or maybe the organization piece, like you personally, it's the organization piece, is planning ahead, well ahead. You know that next week you have got, I don't know, a function coming up. So planning ahead for that function whilst you're doing something mundane that you would normally do, like brushing your teeth, have a little look in your wardrobe. So then you've got a clear vision of what it is that you want to wear, and then hang it up on the back of your door and it's there ready to go. And if it comes to the event or whatever it is that you're planning for and you're like, oh, do you know what, I don't really feel that anymore, swap out one element of it, not the whole outfit, because then that means you're going to be starting again and you're going to get in a bit of a fluster, but swap out one element of it, whether that is you're going to swap those trousers for these trousers, or you're going to swap out that top for this, or whatever. Just change one element of it to get it back to the way that you want to feel today.
I love that you're considering our time management, time blindness. So we're planning ahead, and then
Yeah.
knowing that neurospicy people will switch up at the end and all of a sudden not be interested, and
Yeah.
creating
Because I
that
see it.
rule that we're not going to do the whole outfit change. We're going to do
Mm.
part of it. I
Yeah,
like.
no, because I see it time and time again. And that's why I think it's really important to know exactly who I'm working with and what their needs are. Because I want to meet you where you are. I don't want to come in and be like, no, Monica, this is how we need to do it, because that doesn't work. That's not creating systems and habits for you that are going to be like life changing or have any longevity. You're just going to have somebody that you need constantly to be going, Monica, what are you wearing today? And that's not how this works. I want you to be absolutely independent, empowered by your choices that you make.
One thing that I love that you taught me while we were filming was the concept of finding the waist, that everybody has a waist, you just have to find it. And I think a lot of people believe that they don't have a natural waistline, and you do.
Absolutely, you do. But then that goes back to social media. It goes back to what we're shown as to be the perfect body type. I'm doing quotation marks if you're listening this on but yeah, it's that whole thing. We've been conditioned to think that we in order to have a waist or to have that perfect figure, you need to look this certain way, when there's not one person on the planet that looks exactly the same. And this pulls me back really into the whole sizing thing that we've got so drawn up in, that the sizing, we've got to all be that size that the label says, even though you could be in one store and be a multitude of sizes. So we all have a waist. It's just about proportioning your clothes to emphasize the bits that you love about yourself and concentrating on those bits when you get dressed.
Are there any other style misconceptions or um, things that people are doing or not doing that you wish they would change? Similar to the thoughts around finding your waist or not
Mm.
thinking you have one.
I think it's comparison is really huge in style, because we definitely think that we should be dressed like Sandra when really Sandra's like nothing like us. I think that it's seeing something on social media and being like, oh my God, I need to look like that person. And then feeling bad about ourselves that we're not good enough or we're not worthy of having nice things. I see that time and time again of people that really would love to work with me or have a service like mine, but they won't take it any further because they think, oh no, people like me don't have things like that. Or, you get stuck in a bit of a spiral that you're just watching it from afar. Other people are the ones that dress nice, not me, kind of thing. So for me, it's the way that we speak about us to ourselves, about ourselves, and comparing ourselves to other people and what they wear.
And one thing that I've seen with my own clients, especially when we're working with their clothing, some people truly love fashion. They love shopping, they love buying new things. What can you tell people who see themselves as stylish or fashionistas who truly love shopping about shopping their closet and restyling their closet? Because I feel like if you're truly into styling, then you don't always have to consume more and more and more, because you're getting more creative with the things that you have. Now, of course, it doesn't mean never shop again, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts on people who are truly considering themselves fashionistas who like to buy new things, and the joy is
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah, and the thing is, the joy is in that because you get that dopamine hit. But can I just tell you a fun fact? You get the same dopamine hit when you wear something differently. So just by you shopping your wardrobe and wearing something differently, you're going to get the same hit as if you're buying something new. So it's really being aligned with creativity, and that is sometimes where people, as people stumbling block. It's much easier to go to a shop, buy the whole thing and off I go, than it is for me to sit in my wardrobe and go through and make up different outfits. One thing that I think that is a great place to start is picking one item, like let's say it's a dress, and wearing it for multiple days differently, or like different styling it up differently, or a pair of trousers and styling it differently. That will then inject some creative juices flowing into the rest of your wardrobe instead of buying new. Equally, I've got a few tips for this actually. Equally is taking photos of yourself when you get dressed. If you wear an outfit that you feel really good in, take a photo of yourself, have an album on your phone of outfits that you've really enjoyed wearing. Then go on those days when you're like, do you know what, I feel like buying something, or it's, there's a hot sale on, I need to go and buy that thing. Look back at that, and then go to one of the outfits that you really loved and enjoyed wearing, change out one element of it and wear that, or change up some aspect of that outfit. Combine, I really liked wearing that outfit and this outfit. Maybe I can, switch out items from both of them. And my third one would be having Pinterest at your disposal. Look at outfits on Pinterest, get inspired off Pinterest, sorry. Then go into your wardrobe and recreate those looks using the things that you have got in your wardrobe that you love and want to wear. I do that still to this day. I'm inspired because sometimes, life is moving really fast, and, you're consuming so much stuff from other people. It's hard to know what it is that you do love, but what you do love is hanging in your wardrobe. You just don't know how to piece it together. So by having that inspiration that is free, we're not buying it, we're just getting inspired to then make sure that we reflect it into our wardrobe.
Yeah, and I think also unlearning the thought that just because you bought something that's expensive or designer or very fashionable, it doesn't always mean it's for you. And that's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just because it's on trend and all of these buzzwords, it does not mean that you need it. It does not mean that it's the must have item. All of that is just to make you consume more and make other people rich while you're getting poorer because you've got a closet full of clothes that are not working for you.
Absolutely. Now, a few months ago, you were filming with me in London and in Brighton. The pilot episode of Decluttering Around the World TV show. And I loved working with you. I think we had such a great time.
Mm.
Um, but not but yes, continuing. I loved watching you. I loved watching you with one of your clients and going through her stuff. And that was one thing that really got to me, is that you pulled out some things that were really nice pieces. And usually, with organizing, you'll see people pick out the stuff that's pilling or damaged or too small, and that's what they toss out. But you were having a conversation with your client while we were filming about how some of these very nice pieces that fit her, that she technically could wear to a meeting or work, were not for her anymore. And I thought that was really cool because I haven't seen very many people do that. I mean, we do hear, oh, does it spark joy? Is this something you really love? But I think people are still hiding from letting go of pieces like that they very well could wear. And instead, you opted for some older things that she had and pulled together a few outfits that took 10 years off of her age, by the way. She looked amazing.
She
And
looks
her
so
confident
good.
levels, oh my gosh, like she was glowing by the end of that.
Yeah, No, she really was. And that's the beauty of style. And it's funny, I love when you share that story. And I was speaking to a client on a connection call today, and I was saying about another client, and it's literally about styling. Sometimes you just need somebody else to come and show you different ways to wear the things that you love and that you've got in your wardrobe. Because yeah, she went from there was nothing, and in the elements that you saw, we didn't buy anything. There was
Nope, nothing.
nothing new. Every single thing she owned in her wardrobe, we just put it together differently in ways that she had not done before. And that in itself is not only like empowering, but it also boosted her confidence massively, and still does to this day, because we've got the tools in our wardrobe, but we're not using them to their full potential because we don't know how to.
Yep, I love that. Sophia, you were recording with me and filming this show for a few days, first in Brighton, then in London. This was my first time doing anything like this. I've been on the news many times. I know that you have done a lot of public speaking and recorded it, but there's definitely something different being in front of the camera for a show like this than watching it on TV. And it it took some long hours for us to get through our material, didn't it?
For sure, for sure. It's not as easy as they make it seem on because it's different takes at different angles, at different points, and all of that. But for me, it was so lovely having you witness the magic that goes on behind the scenes when I do a client's wardrobe. And we before we even did it, we spoke about it as that we really want it in real time, a real client going through the real procedure. So I think that magic in itself, I'm really excited to see it all come to life when it airs.
Yeah, and I really like how we did the community chat. Well, not community chat, but it was you and me and your client. We just sat there in the kitchen and discussed
Mm,
some of the heavier parts of this, and
yeah.
that felt really good. I loved that part.
Mm. Because there's always a story behind every client as to what led them there, and what led them to feel the way that they do about their clothes, about their style, about the woman that they are today. There's so much that goes into that, and it was really lovely to unpack that with you.
And we were tired by the end of that first day, weren't we?
We were. Do you know what? It made it fun doing it with you. So yeah, loved it.
I speaking of endurance of filming, you and I were on both on stage speaking at Clean and
Hmm.
Tidy Home Show in London in October, and I
Yeah.
was so impressed with you. Were on that stage. How many interviews did you do or demonstrations? Was it over a 2 day period?
Um, I think I was on one, two, three, four, five,
Yeah.
five different times at different stages, doing various things. Um, for me, though, the reason why I always go back and I love that place will always hold a dear place in my heart is that those conversations that I had with doing all of those different things across the 2 days are just that people I spoke to people that I would not normally speak to in a world of you know empowerment, decluttering, organization, time management. There was just so many different elements that, with now knowing the knowledge that I know from those individuals, can then help me further on in helping my clients and all of that. And obviously meeting the Queen herself, Maria Kondo, at the show was just huge. So it's just an amazing experience. So for me, yeah, it was five different sessions at different stages, but it was just like, oh, I just loved it.
And any of our listeners out there who have no idea what we're talking about, every year at
Mm,
London XL, which is the convention center in London, they have this massive home and cleaning show run by
hmm
Penny and her team. They're doing an
hmm
absolute fabulous job. So if you want to be around like-minded people or you want to be inspired to take better
hmm
care of yourself in your home, I definitely recommend going in. It's usually in October, right? September, October.
It's in October, and also it's not just about the home; it's about the people in the home,
Yeah.
which I absolutely love, because there's it's all good and well having a gorgeously organized home, but if the people in it aren't happy and thriving, then there's no point. So yeah, I love the way that Penny has really anchored it to make sure that she focuses on every single person within that home, kids, pets, everyone involved is being included in this show. So it's lovely.
And I love that what Penny has been able to do, take a convention like this and actually make it about community. And people
Yes.
don't just go to that event and pick up free cleaning supplies and swag. They go and make
No.
friends, and there's so much positivity there. And I think that is a really huge missing link in the US, because we have such an individualistic society. And I think to a certain point, the UK is like that as well. And, out of all the other countries I've been in, there is a lot more community when it comes to home care and that kind of stuff. And so being a part of community in a place where usually you're kind of out doing things for yourself or hiding the reason behind why you're not doing it, the emotional aspect, all that kind of stuff. I really think it's great that she was able to nail that community aspect of this.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, the community aspect is huge. And knowing that it's that whole thing, and I bet you see it, but it's when your clients come to you and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
It's that sense of real community that, there's other people that struggle with that too, but then there's things that you could put into action and put into place to help you move from that.
Absolutely. So what's up next for you? Where can people find you if they want to work with
So
you?
my lovely, gorgeous, new and sparkling website, www.finetunedwardrobe.com. I hang out mostly on Instagram at finetunedwardrobe.com. Just fine tuned wardrobe, there's no .com, and LinkedIn, I'm there as well as Sophia Lorimer. But for me, I really just want to open my space to any questions. If anything popped up for you in this conversation that resonated with you, please get in touch, because it all starts with the conversations, and I offer free, no obligation connection calls where people could just tap into, oh, is this for me? Is this something that I want to explore? Because sometimes that's the biggest barrier, that people are like, oh, no, she wouldn't want to work with anyone like me. And I'm like, no, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I know
Yeah.
when you came into the Big Let Go declutter community, and I just knew you were going to blow everybody away. I just knew it. But it's like, it can be intimidating for people when they see someone who is highly put together and looks really nice. It can be very intimidating. And a lot of people even say to me, they're like, oh, you're a professional organizer. I bet you think my house is disgusting. And it's like, wait a minute. No, I'm not judging you, and I am approachable,
Yeah,
and I love that you do this for
absolutely.
free. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely, because it stops. The thing is, when, and I bet you're the same, but when somebody goes into your house or gets vulnerable with a certain position that they're in their wardrobe or whatever, and they're really telling you a lot about them, you're gonna want to come from it from not a judgy point of view, but a empathetic and open space that somebody can actually have that conversation with you, because it's really a vulnerable place to be, letting a stranger come into that world of yours. So having this little intro call that is free, just to make sure that I'm the right fit for you, and I can really help you in moving forward.
Yeah. And I do know why business owners try to protect themselves by doing paid consultations and all that, but I've never done paid consultations because I know that it's more important for people to have access to me than the few times that people waste my time trying to glean more
Absolutely.
information, So I love that about you. There's so many
No,
things I love about you.
absolutely. Likewise. But yeah, I love it. I really do.
Well, thank you so much for being here and being on the Big Let Go podcast. I cannot wait to personally see you again and work with you again
I
when I'm in London.
know.
So we've got to talk about that after the show. But thank you for being here. And everybody needs to go to finetunedwardrobe.com or find Sophia on Instagram or LinkedIn. Fine-tuned
Yeah.
wardrobe. She is incredible to work with and a joy, and you will not regret it. So thank you for being here.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Big Let Go podcast. I am your host, Monica Faye. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Monica Faye. And please check out thebigletgo.com, where you can download a free workbook that teaches you my method on decluttering and letting go without the overwhelm, without the shame, so you can create space to live a life of your own design and to become more aligned with yourself. It is a good day to have a good day. Let's keep this momentum going.